Okay, it's working. All right. We will start in a minute or two. Brianne is hopping on right now, and then we'll get going. Hi, girl.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh. What are your shoes?
No. Friday or Saturday. I'll wait. I gotta wait till I finish.
Oh,
it's like
that's right.
It's self-discipline.
Were those first ones Vince Camuto's?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're cute too.
I should do that. Maybe that's
I do.
Me do.
So if I finish a program, I get shoes. Don't finish the program, no shoes. It would be different for everyone, right? Like some people would pick workout clothes, or whatever. You can make it whatever, right?
I should grab a water. Are you on fire?
Yeah. Brianne is hopping. Okay, hold on. My YouTube was on. All right. Well, let's get underway here, and it looks like we still have people jumping on, but we'll just get started since it's 9. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for hopping on the call tonight. We have a guest speaker, and I'm excited to have you guys hear from her. We have been Facebook friends, and isn't that really how a lot of us have built this business and met each other? So that's kind of fun. But just a couple reminders is we head into the last half of the month. If you are pushing for Success Club 5, make sure you lock that in and get your very own copy of Beachbody Monopoly. I know you're going to want to play that with your family. I definitely know I want my copy. Reminder that the Bod Challenge Pack is still on sale for $140 this month. I actually saw a really great idea the other day to create a hybrid out of the Bod videos and put together like a 21-day challenge. A hybrid that you create with the programs that are in the BOD so that you could run that with your challengers. I thought that would be kind of fun. Is there anything else I wanted to touch on? Oh, Summit. If I've had a couple people ask, yes, if you're a new coach, you still want to come to Summit. Anyone wants to get to Summit, go to coachsummit.com and sign up. Get your ticket. Everyone will be able to make it. We are hosting a party the first night. We have rented out the 3rd floor of a honky-tonk bar, and we are going to be doing a diamond reception and dinner for you guys. So make sure that is on your calendar. We'll be excited to see you there in Nashville. So let's hop over to Brianne. She is a 5-star diamond elite coach, and she's going to share a little bit about her story with you, but she told me she signed up as a coach in 2013 and then made elite in 2014. And I was like, geez, girl. We all know it took me 4 years to, be able to create that. So I think she's going to have some really great tips on consistency and building your business. And she said something to me the other day about how she's never missed an opportunity to follow up. And I was just like, wow, that means you're really on it and tracking everything you do. So I have asked her to share some of her best tips and practices for tracking and organizing her business as well. So thank you for being on with us, Brianne, and I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. These are fun. I love getting to talk with other teams and having other teams come on our calls. I feel like everybody always gets so much more information. So yeah, like Leslie said, I signed up at the end of January in 2013, and my mom actually signed me up. My mom was my original sponsor. She since had left the business and came back in September. She's a trainer and had some conflicts with her business at the time and had to leave, but now she's under me, which I think is better for everybody. So my mom is a trainer. She's a health coach, and that's how she got started in Beachbody. And you know what? I was that coach that nobody probably would have wanted on their team. I drank Shakeology. I signed up for $39 just to get the discount. I had no idea what a challenge pack was, and my mom was like, well, at the time when I signed up, I think P90X was like the promotion, and she was like, well, you could sign up and get P90X, and I'm like, I'm not doing P90X. Are you kidding? I just want to drink my shakes, and I don't want to pay full price for them. That's all it is. And I had signed up, and she was like, well, you know, if you get 3 people to buy their Shakeology from you, you make enough money to pay for your shake. And I was like, what? I have like 500 Facebook friends. I can find 3 people to buy this shake. Are you kidding? And that was really how my whole business got started, was just me sharing what I liked about Shakeology on Facebook. You know, my kids are little. My friends all have kids that are younger than mine. And, you know, we all know how we feel as moms. So anything that's going to come along, or we see another mom kind of having success, and I feel like we all kind of gravitate towards that because we believe that it's, you know, like what we talk about, that it's possible. So that's really how my business got started. So my mom was brand new. She really wasn't able to help me because she didn't understand social media. She didn't understand really what building a business was about or anything like that. So I really kind of was just left to my own devices, and I just made sure that I always was out there. So when I started, I really went through the entire back office, and that was really how I learned, you know, the 5-step invitation process and the vital behaviors, and I did my quick start by myself, and I was like, well, I don't know who to send this to, so I'll just kind of like hang it up on my wall and, you know, see what happens. And I just felt like if I got out there, at the time I was, you know, when something is new to us and we're excited and we're so passionate about it in the beginning, it's easy for us to continue to post about it because we're so excited, it's so new, it's so fresh, and we want everybody to know about it. And I probably vomited information all over my Facebook for the first few months I was a coach, but I just had these people that kept gravitating towards me because I was excited about it. And I started just telling them what my mom had said to me. You know, you can sign up as a coach, get the discount on Shakeology, and if you get 3 people to sign up, then your shake is free. And that was how I built the beginning of my business. And I found that people started coming out of the woodwork, and, you know, they would say, you know, I've been watching your posts and I've been following your posts, and I love that you're so consistent with always talking about what you like. And I was like, I didn't even realize that I was being consistent with it. I think was like the game changer for me, and I realized, like, I really can do this. I can kind of turn this into a business and, you know, really make something of this. My husband works 80 hours a week. He traveled for 8 months out of the year last year. You know, we don't want that. We want him home. So that really really has been my goal since day one, was to really get him out of his job. So what I always kind of talk about with my coaches is how important, you know, we always say like somebody has to have a secret sauce and somebody has to have some big secret, when it really is in the consistency. And, you know, we talk about, you know, inviting people, and we talk about the 3 vital behaviors. And I feel like as we get more seasoned as coaches, whether we're rank advancing or not, we kind of let those vital behaviors slide, or people talk about the vital behaviors and we kind of roll our eyes at it and say, I know that, but the truth is, when you come down to it, 97% of the coaches are not consistent. They're not doing those behaviors consistently, and that's really the difference in those coaches that are having a lot of success as opposed to the coaches who, maybe show up for a team cup and get their 5 points and get their prize, and then you don't hear from them, for 6 months. So, I really found that by really drilling down into the vital behaviors, that really is where the secret to success lies within my business. And, I was at the 3 Vital Behavior training in New York City 2 weeks ago that Mickey Fernandez ran, and Mickey had a really good point. She got up there and she said, we talk about our vital signs when we go to the doctor, our heart rate, our blood pressure, our pulse. Those are things that keep you alive. And the vital behaviors are just that. They are what keep your business alive. And if you're not doing them, all 3 of them, then your business will start to fall. And you can't be doing one without the other 2. You can't be doing 2 of them without the 3rd. So personal development for me is a huge thing, because I feel like that's the one that most coaches slack on most of the time. I don't have time to get my PD in today. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to do that. I already have to work out. I already have to go to my job. I have to take care of the kids. And it's really hard to help other people if you're not working on helping you. We're all a work in progress, and we all, I think, can agree that personal development does help, but it's always the first thing that kind of falls by the wayside. So, get on Audible, listen to the wake-up calls on the podcast, things that take time. If I haven't had time, I pop my headphones in while I'm cooking dinner or while I'm at the gym, or while the kids have the DVD on in the backseat of the car, and I get, my 10 or 15 minutes in at the minimum. And it's kind of like when you work out first thing in the morning. You feel so good for the rest of the day after you do that. So if you can get up and get your personal development in first thing in the morning, it really kind of sets the tone for the whole day. We all are proof that the products work. We all share our workouts. We share what we're eating. We share our ideas for healthy snacks. We share our before and after photos. So we're all really good in that category. And that leaves the inviting. And, we talk about failure and going through your nose to get a yes. But what we don't talk about is how big that pipeline has to always be. If you have a goal to be diamond, or you have a goal to be 2-star or 5-star or 10-star, whatever your goal is, you better have hundreds of people in that pipeline so it never dries up. So, and this kind of goes into what Leslie wanted me to talk about following up. So with inviting, I always keep a running list. I never, ever, ever cross anybody off my list as a no. Never. Even if they signed up as a coach and they've canceled, unless they, unless they email me and say, take me off your email list, anything like that, I don't. They're always like a not now to me. I never, ever, ever will mark anybody as a no, which is a big thing, because I've had coaches quit and come back. I've had customers who say, I tried this, it doesn't work, and 6 months later they come back and they want to sign up as a coach. Or we've had people who say, I'll never do this, that's not for me, and all of a sudden they're like one of your rock star coaches because they basically saw you have success while they sat on the sidelines and watched and wondered if they could do it. So that's a big thing. Don't ever cross anybody off your list, even if they tell you no, especially if they tell you no. Don't cross them off your list. So that's a huge thing. And, I always make sure, so what I use to track my follow-ups, this is probably the easiest way to go through this. What I use to track my follow-ups is this app called Asana. And I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's fantastic. So I use it for a lot of different things. I use it with my diamonds to help plan like team trainings and training groups and stuff, but what I use it for mostly is for follow-ups. So it's a free account, which is great, and they have an app for it, so you can have it sync on your iPhone and your iPad. The app is super easy to use. And then what I do is I create a project that I just call follow-ups, which is super simple. And then it asks you to create these tasks within your follow-ups. Every person that I talk to is considered a task. What I love about this is you'll have their name, and then there's a little box that you can type comments in. So I can say, like, I talked to Leslie today. Leslie wants to lose 15 pounds before she goes away, but she's got stuff to do this week. Her kids are sick. Remind her to touch base with her next week. And I'll put a due date on it of, say, March 30th. Well, come March 30th, when I sign into Asana, her name is in bright red. So I know that I have to go back to her. The great thing about this is that you can put information in there about them, the conversations that you've had. So when you come back to them, it's not, hey, Leslie, we talked about the 21-day fix. Are you going to buy it? You can say, hey, Leslie, like, how are the kids feeling? Are you getting pumped for your trip? When are you leaving? I hope the kids are feeling better. So that you really are kind of going through the whole form process again with them and forming that relationship before jumping into asking them, if they still want to be held accountable to their goals. So that for me is huge. You could put due dates on everything, which is really nice. And then I've got, those people who've told me no. They get a due date like 3 months out, and every couple of months I just will kind of go through and circle back. So everybody that I talk to, their name gets added to this list, and it's all in one place. And it's probably one of the only places in my business that I'm super, super organized, because I tried paper, I tried Excel, which I'm terrible with. I've tried so many different, I tried to use Awesome Note that Shailene recommends. I put the app on my phone. I never open it. I really wanted to use it. I wanted to be able to use Awesome Note. I downloaded the app. I loved it. And I would put all these great ideas in and all these to-do things, and I never even opened the app on my phone. So it ended up being a total waste for me. So Asana is something I have found works really, really well, and I like that it can kind of sync in between everything, so you don't have to get back to you don't have to get back to your computer to follow up with somebody. If you're out, if I am headed to pick up my daughter at preschool and I have 20 minutes to kill, I can sit in my car and go through all my follow-ups right on my phone because I've got that list. So to me, that's super, super important, is to always circle back to these people, because you really never know, when they're going to be ready. You make sure that you're always involved with them. And the other thing that I really love about this is that you can give them tags, almost like you would tag, I don't know what an example would be, but you can tag it. So for the people that like, T25, or they asked about it, or they asked about Insanity Max 30, I would tag them with that program. So even if they had told me no, even if they had said they weren't interested at this time, and 3 months down the road, that program they expressed interest in is on promotion for that month, boom, all I have to do is click that tag or type in that tag of Insanity Max 30 or something like that, and all those people that had an interest will pop up regardless of their due date. So it's really great to sort people by if they're interested, and then I'll mark them if they're like a customer prospect, or if they would be a great coach, or they inquired to me about the coaching opportunity but just weren't ready. So it's really great to kind of keep all your contacts in one place. That to me is like the biggest advantage to having something like that. I don't have a video on it, but if you search on YouTube, there's a few videos that coaches have made about how they use it. One of my diamonds has one that she put up. Her name is Annie McCarty. I know that a couple of coaches from the wall have posted their videos. I can't remember who right now. But if you just search how to use Asana on YouTube, you'll find a handful of videos on how to do it, and it's definitely something that I recommend. I am not somebody who is incredibly organized. I'm kind of like organized chaos, and my business really can't run that way and be successful. So at least having my contacts and all the people that I need to talk to in one place is really super, super important for me. I'm trying to think. Was there anything else, Leslie, that you specifically wanted me to touch on? I know I went
Yeah, sorry.
really, really fast. I had like a ton of coffee today, and I'm like,
I'm sorry, I had to unmute myself. Um, you got 5 diamonds really fast, and I know a lot of the coaches on our team right now are trying to build to emerald or trying to build to diamond or hit star diamond. You know, they have big goals by summit. Do you have any like top tips or things that you did to help your 5 diamonds rank advance, or that you pushed and used when you were aiming for emerald or diamond?
I actually didn't know I was going diamond. I didn't. I didn't.
You're like the coaches we love.
I didn't. I just kept signing up coaches, and when I was diamond, I had 14 personally sponsored coaches, and I had an emerald on my right leg already, and I had messaged my Star Diamond upline on a Wednesday night, and I had said, "Oh, my coach Nicole is gonna go emerald tomorrow. I'm so excited!" And she was like, "Which leg is she on?" And I was like, "I think she's on my left leg." And she was like, "You're gonna go diamond tomorrow." And I was like, "What's that?" Like, I had no idea. I just kept signing up coaches. So for me, it wasn't really the struggle to push to diamond. I had about an 8-month gap from diamond to 1-star, and I feel like that's the hardest thing when you're a diamond, is to pop your first diamond, because you're kind of like, well, I got there, so do I just tell somebody to get there now? It's kind of hard to, kind of go through that process of building a diamond. I always feel like that gap from diamond to 1-star is super hard. My first diamond has been diamond for just about a year now, and she's really starting to she's kind of over it. She's like ready for her girls to start popping, and when they get so close, it can get frustrating. So I think the important thing is to take the pressure off of them and don't make your goals their goals. And for me, that was really, really hard to do because I'm driven. I'm not somebody who needs like the motivation. Like, I can just say, okay, I'm going to go do this and go do this. Whereas other coaches, they need that help, and they need that motivation, and they need that support and that almost nurturing side of us that we can bring to it. And that's not me. And I had to really kind of flip my personal development and figure out how I could best help them. And that was a huge thing for me. The other thing is, the only thing that's holding you back is your belief that there's something holding you back. And I really can't say enough about this, and here's why. So I ranked up to 2-star the week right after Summit. The Thursday after Summit, I hit 2-star, and I opened my business, my second center, the next day. And 2 weeks later, I had 5 coaches in that second center. And I'm part of Pete Penga's team. And Pete is like the master, like building for volume, and like he's the guy when you have questions about, placement and stuff like that, he's the guy you call. So I called him and I said, I don't know what to do. I have 5 coaches in my second center, and it's July 15th. I already have 14 Success Club points. So do I build my second center to diamond, or do I move to my husband's center, who only had 2 coaches, but they were both emerald? Or I moved to him and built him to diamond. And Pete said, build them both. And I was like, I can't do that. It's 2 weeks. I was like, I need 9 coaches and 2 more emeralds. He was like, well, why can't you do it? Just go do it. And I was like, that's crazy. I can't do that in 2 weeks. I'd be working like a crazy person. And he was like, well, why can't you do it? You're not giving me a reason. Why can't you go do it? And I was like, I don't know. And he was like, well, you call me in 2 weeks, and then we'll talk about it. And I was like, okay. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go and do it. And it was because somebody else told me that I could do it. I went and did it. I never would have thought that that I could have done that. So I did it. In a 4-week span, I built my second center to diamond in 26 days, and I built my husband to diamond that same month. So I went 3- and 4-star qualifying a week apart. And then I helped my last diamond. She didn't know she was going diamond either. She had emeralds, and I was like, if you, and she hadn't signed up her husband. And I said, if you just sign up Joe, you'll be diamond tomorrow. And she was like, what? So a big part of that is belief. And another big part of that is when you harness that momentum, that's really where, we all saw you race last year. I remember you posting your elite emails and seeing your ATV and being like, that, it was just mind-boggling what can happen when you have that kind of momentum. Because what happens is you get excited. And when you get excited and you start to recruit because you're excited, your coaches get excited. And when your coaches get excited, they recruit. And that brings momentum, and momentum brings success, and success brings excitement, and excitement brings more momentum. So if you guys can get 2 or 3, you diamonds or whoever's on with your teams, and you can kind of get 2, 3 solid weeks and really help each other, band together, find success partners. They don't work for everybody. I never had a success partner. Some people rely on them, and some people need that for their business. I have people that I work with that are not on my team that I'm close with. So maybe you would consider them success partners. I don't know. But, find somebody with similar goals and push each other and run together. And when you can come together and support the other coaches on your team, whether you're financially connected to them or not, that's where that comes in, when it's support. When it turns into a competition of, well, this one got to 1 star in 8 months. Well, I've been in the business for a year, and I'm only a diamond. And you start to get that resentment, that's when it all really kind of crumbles, because it's not about competition. There's so many of us that are on so many different teams that when you're willing to share information and share what you know, everybody's better for it. And it's not a competition. I don't know the same people Leslie knows. She doesn't know the people that I know, and I don't know the people that any of you on this call may know. So it's kind of silly when we say, like, I don't want to share information. And to me, it's just not what we're about. So when everybody's excited and everybody's working together, that's, really when the magic happens. That's why, when there's 10,000 people at the arena in Las Vegas and everybody's excited and we all kind of disperse on Sunday morning, the next week, everybody's volume, no matter where they are in the network, no matter where they are in the country, everybody's volume is up because everybody benefited from being together. And I think when you can kind of harness that momentum, that's really what's important. But look, it's all basics. Help your coaches get to Emerald and hit Success Club. And if you can build an Emerald and you can teach those 2 coaches to build an Emerald and they can teach their 2 coaches to build an Emerald, it's super simple. You don't have to focus on building diamonds. You can break it down even simpler and focus on building emeralds, because everybody could find 2 people that they can sign up. To us, now that we're diamonds or star diamonds, thinking back to finding 8 coaches is easy. As a brand new coach, that's not so easy. That's a little daunting. But, hey, you have your spouse, and can you find your best friend and ask them to sign up? Ask a friend to sign up. Ask a parent to sign up. Ask somebody that you know that could benefit from your help to sign up. And if you can focus on just building emeralds and hitting Success Club, you'll get your leads, you'll get your cycle bonuses, and you'll start to create leaders. And that's really where you want to be, is creating leaders that can then teach their coaches to do the same thing.
And don't you think this is one of those times in the business, like we're coming up on a Success Club trip, we're coming up to Summit, like there's all this stuff going on, like if this is at any one time that you should run for something,
oh God,
run for it. And like the momentum will chase you. And it was funny. We had I think Arnold Nakaha was on our team call last week, and he said if you can run with the momentum, like you keep up with it and run with it, your team will run with you. But if you just kind of like stand by, it will literally trample you over. And I thought that's like, yeah, it's kind of true. I saw that happen like my first year in my business as I sat home and went to none of these events. Kind of like killed me.
Yeah, and it'll pass you by, you know, and like I said, I touched on the 3 vital behaviors, and if you really want to add a 4th one to it, it's events. You know, we have Cancun in 3.5 weeks. The week after that is Super Saturday. I don't care where you are, get to a Super Saturday. They're so important. They're all in the online office. If you don't know of a local one and it's not in the online office, ask your Star Diamond upline. They're all over the country. There's so many that you can find. They're so important to get to. It's important to network with local coaches. They're just exciting. You know, we had Kim Carver come to ours in January, and if you guys don't have the pleasure of knowing Kim, he is absolutely fantastic. He has this amazing energy, and he makes everybody feel like they're the most important person in the room. And I had new coaches come up to me and be like, I don't know who that guy is, but if that's the kind of people that our company hires, this is amazing. And it's just exciting to see people get engaged and to learn stories of, you know, local coaches. They're super important to get to. You know, if you haven't gotten a ticket to Summit, get to Summit. I think it's amazing that they do success starters. I wish they did that when I started because I couldn't afford to go to Summit, but I went anyway. And that was it. That really was what changed my business, was going to that first Summit my first year as a coach. I was 5 months in. I was a brand new diamond, and I was like, I have to just figure out a way to get there. And I was pretty broke. I went to Summit with like $100 in my pocket, but you know, I went. And it really was the best thing that I could have done for my business. So it's super important that you get there. You know, get to figure out what your goals are. If you want to qualify for Premier, if you want to qualify for Elite, if you want to push to get to the New Leader Conference in January, you know, you have to be 2-star at the end of the year for that. Recognition at Summit is a really big thing. That's exciting to be able to be on that stage. And this year we're going to be on the football field with 25,000 people. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, if there was ever a time, this is really when you want to really pick up the pace and run, because what you do over the next 5 or 6 weeks is going to really kind of set the tone for the rest of the year. Because I remember coming off the cruise last year and feeling so energized and ready to like tackle my business. And I don't know if that was 5 days for all of us with no internet or what, but I came home and I was like, I just want to work. I'm so excited. You know, you're going to get these coaches that are going to come back from the trip and be so excited at spending the time with, you know, with corporate and with these leaders and with all the amazing people in this network, that everybody's going to come back fired up. And you want to be ready. If you're not going, you want to be ready to run when they get back. Or like Leslie said, you're just going to get trampled. I mean, it's you know, there's going to be new product announcements in Cancun, which I'm really excited for. I wonder what they're going to announce. But I feel like that's going to be, you know, a really big thing when we come back. I think there's going to be a lot of new stuff, and I think that this is going to be an exciting year for the network. I'm really kind of excited to see what's going to unfold over the next few months.
I agree. So my first year, I was a brand new coach, and I obviously was not on the Success Club trip my first year as a coach. I qualified for it the next year, but that first year I sat home while everyone else went on that cruise. And it kind of pissed me off and lit that fire inside. Like, they're all on this boat. Like, I guess I better get to work. Mm-hmm. And I let all those pictures and those stories, like, basically, like, fuel my fire to, like, make this a real business and to, like, not miss Summit and to make all of this happen. happen. So it's kind of a good message for maybe any of the new coaches that are going to miss out with us in the next couple of weeks.
I had signed up, like I said, it was the end of January, and the year I signed up, it was 2 years ago, so the Success Club trip was to Disney World. And I was like 6 weeks in as a coach, and I saw all of these coaches getting on a plane and going to their free trip to Disney World and posting pictures about it. And at the time, my husband had been out of work for 3 months the year before he got hurt, and we ran up all of our credit cards again just to pay our mortgage and keep the lights on. And we were like beyond broke. So Disney World at the time was such a pipe dream for us that I was like, I can't believe it. They get to go to Disney World. I want to go on the trip. And while they were gone that week, I went and got on the wait list for the cruise last year. And they kept saying you should try to go to Summit. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to make it this year. I really can't afford it. And if any of you guys are apprehensive about whether or not you should be at Summit, in April of 2013, I don't remember the date, but I remember the month because that was when I decided I was going to go to Summit. Tara Carr did a wake-up call when she was still in Japan, and she was talking about how she couldn't afford to fly halfway around the world a bajillion times, and how much money it would cost her to fly her boys to Ohio so she could go to Summit. But she felt like she had to for her business because she felt like if she wanted her business to be successful, she had to put skin in the game. And that was something that really stuck with me, and I got off that phone call and I was like, I need to be at Summit. No question. And my husband came home and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to figure this out, but I have to go. And he was like, go. Like, we'll just figure it out. And like I said, I went to Summit with pretty much no money in my pocket. But it was worth it. You know, you don't sleep, you're exhausted, you're on complete overload, but what it will do for your business is just astounding. So if any of you are on the fence about whether or not you should be attending Summit, go back into the archives and listen to Tara's call, because it definitely is something that will really change your whole mindset and why you really should be completely committed to this business if you really want it to be successful.
I think that was me my first year. I think I went to Summit with literally like $50 or $60 in spending money. That was it. It was like for food, and that was it. And I totally did my first Summit on a shoestring, and it was so worth it. I went in as a brand new like diamond coach and vowed to be back that next year on stage. So, yeah, definitely a business changer.
Yeah, it is. It is. If you guys can swing.
All right, so we want to know, do you have a couple of favorite personal development books?
Yes, depending on what you feel like you need. My absolute favorite one is John Maxwell's 15 Laws of Growth, because I feel like no matter where you are, it's always a good book to come back to. That's something I have the hardcover, but I have it on Audible, and I mean, if you guys have heard him speak, his voice is so soothing that I listen to that on Audible every couple of months. I kind of will go back to that and listen to that whole thing again. That's a big favorite of mine. A really good one is You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. If you feel like you're struggling with feeling like you're enough in this business, it really is a fantastic book. If you struggle with procrastination like I do,
Me too.
oh my God, I'm terrible.
I'm so bad.
I am. I'm terrible. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy is a great one. And I actually have, I'm actually looking at what's on my shelf right now. Tony Horton's Picture is a really, really good book. If you guys don't have it, you need to read it. It's really good. It's very classic Tony. It has his humor in it, but it really is a very uplifting story. And I actually have a book that I haven't read yet that was recommended to me by Lauren Duke. It's called Unstoppable. So it's like on my list of books to read. So those, and let's see what else I have on my shelf here that I haven't If you are more business-minded, if you need more books about network marketing and not so much personal development, but business development, we all love GoPro. It's a great book. Building an Empire by Brian Carruthers. Hold on.
I don't have that one. I'm going to have to get it. Building an Empire by...
Building an Empire. Yeah, right here. Called
I
Building
love
an Empire by Brian Carruthers. And Christy Curtis actually sent me this book, and I love it. And I recommend it to all of my new coaches who are very worried about posting on Facebook because they're afraid that they're going to piss everybody off. So it's called How to Become Filthy Stinking Rich Through Network Marketing Without Alienating Friends and Family. Fantastic. You can get it on Amazon. It's like $11. It's great. And it really kind of goes through what we talk about. It's a lot of information on form and sharing. But it has some really, really good tips in it. And on that one, there was a book that was recommended to me by Kevin and Milan Jensen. It's a very old book. I think you can only get it on Amazon. I don't even know if they print it anymore. It's by a woman called Kim Claver, and it's called If My Product's So Great, How Come I Can't Sell It? And it teaches you how to create like your 45-second elevator pitch. So Kevin Jensen did a workshop for a bunch of us about a year ago, and it was really great to kind of hear what other people had come up with, and it teaches you to basically take your whole story that would take you basically 10 minutes to tell somebody and kind of compress it into 45 minutes without being like, I'm a Beachbody coach, I'm here to sell you programs in Shakeology. So it really kind of allows you to, if somebody asks you in the grocery store, like, oh, you're wearing an Insanity Max jacket, what do you do for a living? And my canned response from that is, oh, I help people who struggle with their fitness and their nutrition like I used to. Do you know anybody, is that something that, you would be, like, after that I'll ask them if it's something that they would be interested in. But my canned response is, like, I help people who struggle with their fitness and nutrition like I used to. And so now I market products for people to help them with that because they've helped me. And, I'm like that annoying person that I always have a piece of shareware on and I carry my Shakeology shaker everywhere with me. But it works. People always ask about it. I can't tell you how many Max 30 Challenge Packs I've sold from this jacket. It teaches you, if you're uncomfortable with talking about the business opportunity, which I know a lot of coaches are, those books will help. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone, but you don't want to be like living in fear when you're trying to present the business opportunity. So those books, if you struggle with that aspect of your business, those books I think are all really helpful.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, I would have loved all those books. Like 3 years ago, we would go to dinner parties. I'd go with my husband, and people would ask me what I did, and I would literally say, like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. That's it. Because I was so, like, afraid to be like, I'm a Beachbody coach.
Mm-hmm.
And now, like you, it's kind of just, perfecting that pitch and being able to talk to people. And now when we go out to dinner with people and they say, so what do you do? Like, I'm like, let me tell you all about this amazing business I've created at home wearing yoga pants. And they're usually like, gee, that sounds like you have an amazing job. So.
But that's that. And they're like, are you kidding? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, I work a few hours a week or a few hours a day. And, I make full-time income, and I get to do it at home with my kids crawling all over me, and I get to do it in my pajamas on my couch or on my floor or, in bed late at night, wherever I feel like doing it. And if we decide to move, I can take my business anywhere. That's the beauty of it. And I love that you said wearing no pants. I have, like, my jacket and my T-shirt still on.
I said yoga pants.
Oh, I thought you said no pants. And I'm like,
that would be interesting.
But that's it. I mean, I have pajama pants on. But that's it. That's what we do, and people come up to me, at the gym. I had those 21-day fix extreme tanks we had made. I had mine on at the gym a couple weeks ago, and they were like, what is this? And they were talking about it, and they were like, you're here. You know, I go to the gym when both kids are in school just to get out of the house. And somebody had said something about, you know, like, I can't believe that you're here. Like, don't you have a job? And I'm like, you don't understand that I'm making money while I'm here working out. And they were like, what? And I'm like, yeah, that's my job. This is my job right now, what I'm doing. And they were like, I don't understand this. And I was like, let me tell you all about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think people don't understand
Right.
the opportunity that we have here, which is really, really amazing, you know. And I feel like if you can think big picture, look, there's racers on every team. There's racers that come along all the time. And the biggest problem I think that we all have is we compare ourselves to everybody else. And when you compare yourself to other coaches, you're really depriving yourself of what makes you unique and what makes your business special. And it's very easy to compare in this business. And I think that when you can put that aside and look long term in this business, you know, a year ago to be 5-star was like this crazy goal, and I was like, I would love to do it. I don't know if I can do it. And now the goals that I have seem crazy. But you take baby steps to get there. And I think, you know, when you started, probably even for you at the beginning of last year, you had no idea you'd be where you are right now,
No.
you know, after the year that you've had. And if you can think long term and you can kind of just trust the process and not give up when it gets tough, really, really amazing things can happen. So don't give up, because that's the only time that you fail is when you completely quit. And then it sucks.
Right. I tell coaches all the time, the stopping and starting in this business will kill you. Because every time you stop, you have to frickin' start all over again, and it's just that much harder to get that momentum going.
Yeah, it absolutely will. It's twice as hard when you lose that momentum to really get it back. And it just gets harder and harder the further along you are if you slow down.
So did you ever at one point in your business have like this aha moment, or like a time in your business where you said, like, why not me? Or you just said, I'm going to go for 5-star? Like, what, like, was there ever, like, at any point, like, a switch flipped?
I've had a couple. My first was about 6 weeks in as a coach, 8 weeks in as a coach. I had signed up, it was the end of February, and I had signed up to be in the Team Cup in March. I didn't sign up on a team. I was like that coach that you just put your name in and you get assigned to a random team, because I didn't know about it. And I'm like, this looks like fun. I could win a prize right away. This is pretty cool, right? So I had just figured out this whole, if I get 3 people to drink Shakeology, I get to have mine for free. So, and then I felt like I'm put on this team with like all these random coaches who I don't know who they are. They don't know that I'm brand new. I don't want them to think I suck. So I better get at least 5 points, or these coaches are probably going to find me and be pissed at me, right? And I was like, all right, I'm just going to get 5 points. And like in like 3 days, I had 5 points. And it was all home direct orders. I didn't even understand what challenge packs were. I was just selling Shakeology. And I ended that month, my first full month as a coach, with like 18 Success Club points. And our team, our cup team of 5 coaches, had 27 points. And I was like, if these people have been doing it for a long time and I just got 18 points without knowing what the hell I'm doing, why I should just go and do this every month. Like, is it really this simple? And it's not that it's simple, it's that I was really passionate about it and I was excited. And when you feel like you have that accountability to other people, look, that's why Beachbody is successful, because we have that accountability that comes in with the programs. So when you apply it to the coaching opportunity, it's the same thing. That was a big one. Tara Carr's wake-up call was probably the biggest one for me. I listened to Tara Carr, and 2 weeks later, Christy Curtis was on. And Christy, who is a dear, dear friend of mine now, because of that call. She is cross-line for me. She's also part of Pete's team. And I reached out to her, and I was like, I don't know what to do, but I feel like this big team that I'm on doesn't have a lot of big goals, and I do. And she was the only elite coach that Pete had at the time. And I was like, if I want my business to be successful, that's who I have to emulate. That's who I have to, that's who I want to learn from. That's who I want to align myself with. And I was really careful to not waste her time, because if you're reaching out to a coach, whether they're cross-line from you or whether you're a star diamond upline, don't respect their time, because they're taking the time to help you. Be respectful of that. And when they offer you tips, don't say, oh, I know how to do that. Because if you did, you wouldn't be coming to ask for help. That's just like a side thing. But that was a really big one for me. And then the beginning of last year, when the first elite emails came out, or when the last elite email from 2013 came out, and I finished 2013 as a brand new coach with 97 elite points.
Wow.
And I had no idea what that meant. So Christy had said, you should really make a run for it. You can hit elite next year. And I'm like, you think so? Like, that's 5-star. I don't have any diamonds now. And she was like, send me your email. How many points did you have? And I'm like, I don't know. I think I had like 90-something. And she was like, you realize you only need 100 to be elite. And I was like, what? She's like, well, you needed the diamonds, but, and I was like, yeah, but that's crazy. Like, how did I get all the, I don't even know how I got these points. And that's when she was like, you can do this. Like, a lot of times we just need somebody to tell us that we can do it. And it was that. And then it was the conversation I had with Pete back in July, him saying, look, you can do it. Just don't doubt yourself. And I think that's the biggest thing. And anytime I find that doubt creeping in now, I go back to that call that I had with him. And I remember where I was sitting at my grandmother's pool, and he called, and he was like, do you have a few minutes? And I was like, sure, what's up? And, you know, I always go back to that and thinking that the only reason I thought I couldn't do it is because I was doubting myself. But when you have people that believe in you and they tell you that you can do it, that's a really big aha moment, I think, for any coach. And even now, I think we still have them. You know, the further we get along in this business, the bigger goals that we set for ourselves. And no matter how seasoned you are, your next big goal always seems unattainable until somebody tells you that you can do it. So, you know, have really big goals. Because I feel like if I hit every goal that I put on my dream board at the end of last year, I would have been pissed at myself because I probably could have done so much more. So I feel like it's good to have really big goals because it gives you something really, really big to shoot for. If you set them low and you hit them, then what's next?
All right, so one last question then. Do you have any big goals for this year? Put you on the spot.
It's very funny. I actually have been very conflicted with my goals for this year, and I've gone back and forth like 3 times. So I definitely plan to be elite again. I have my dream board right here, so I'm looking at it now. One of the things on my board was to be a Success Club legend, which I hit last month in February, so I was very excited for that. My goals are really for the team. You know, I'd like to get my second center to 2-star and open up a third. I'd like to get my husband to 2-star and open up his second and just start stacking business centers everywhere. But really what we'd really like to do is I have a handful of PS coaches who are really pushing for diamonds, so I want to see them hit it. And we have a lot of coaches 2 and 3 levels deep that are pushing. So our biggest goal for this year is to have 25 new diamonds in the downline, kind of scattered through everybody. And I feel like that's a fun goal for the whole team to push for. I don't like to have them say, I don't like to tell people this is my goal and I want you to help me hit it. I like to help them hit their goals because that's exciting to see. So I don't have anything concrete. I kind of have gone back and forth with it, and I had Chris Reed tell me that I should build to 10-star because financially it makes sense, but I feel like right now the stress of worrying about 110 coaches is a little crazy at the moment. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks as I kind of, I don't want to say firm it up, but I feel like I would have a better answer for that after Cancun, when I kind of feel like the
And I think that's kind of the fun part about this business is sometimes when it's their goal and it's also your goal, it just hits and it works and it makes sense because you're working on it together.
Yeah.
So
it's more fun for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really, at the end of the day, I think what almost any of us want is for our coaches to be successful in however they define it in this business. And I think that's the cool thing about this business is you get to pick.
Yeah, absolutely.
You get to pick what it's like to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, thank you so much for being on with me tonight and sharing and teaching
so
all of us. Yeah, you're like my fellow fashionista on Facebook.
I know, I'm getting all the summer emails and I'm thinking of how much shopping I'm going to do before Cancun. Yeah, thank you for having me on. This was super fun. Thank you guys all for having me. I don't know how many people are on, but thank you all for watching. I hope I gave you guys some, yeah.
No, I think there was a big message coming through. It's just like, believe you can do it, you know? And I mean, I'm huge on accountability. Like, tell someone what you're going to do. Because if you have a goal, now it's my goal. My goal is to help you hit it.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing is a lot of times coaches are afraid to ask.
Yeah. And that's what we're here. Don't be afraid to ask.
One of the best things we get to do in this business is help other people realize their dreams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for having me, Leslie.
Thank you for being on. Thank you, guys. Everyone have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.